So today we are going to talk about bank stocks that we normally gloss over. So small banks, which the rumor is around the office that you are super into small banks.
I do love my tiny banks, yes.
So let's start with a super basic question. What makes a bank a small bank?
Well, its size. Its size is what makes it small. Generally speaking, small banks, community banks, as they're widely known as, or regional banks, you're talking banks that have assets of certainly less than $10 billion in assets, and generally speaking, less than $1 billion is where it starts to get quite small. But that's among the most fertile hunting grounds for sort of interesting ideas in this space.
Cool. I don't know. I think the smallest bank that we have talked about on the show might be Astoria Financial because they merged with New York Community Bank. But I think other than that, I don't think we get much smaller than that.
No, I mean, it's a pretty overlooked sector, and that's why it's a good place for investors to go looking for ideas. You've got 50, 60, 70 people, hundreds of regulators, thousands of investors looking at things like JP Morgan and Wells Fargo every day. The opportunity to find a mispricing there is probably pretty remote. Whereas if you're the only investor in something like Carter Bank and Trust in rural Virginia, or Suffolk Bancorp out on the east end of Long Island, if you're literally the only person looking at the numbers, then the opportunity to find a mispricing is that much more significant.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably the greatest appeal of a small bank over a larger bank.
Well, I would say there are a couple points that make them more appealing to look at, certainly from an analyst standpoint, from like a learning and both a return and a learning perspective. First, they're a lot more simple. They're a lot easier to understand. They don't have huge slush funds on their balance sheets that are just like other or derivative contracts or undated. Those are categories you have no idea. You look at some of those things and there's notional value in the tens, if not hundreds of billions of dollars on some of these bank balance sheets, and you don't know what's inside of it. Whereas small banks are a lot easier to read from a balance sheet perspective to see what they're doing with their assets and their liabilities. And secondly, good luck getting Jamie Dimon or someone like that on the phone. Whereas if you're looking at a community bank, particularly a bank in your own community, which is one of the best places to go looking for them, the opportunity to go in and talk to senior level leadership, even if you're just an individual investor, is probably pretty good. And so, there's no better way to get to know a management team than to actually get to know them, like over a cup of coffee, right? And so
that is incredible. That's something that has never occurred to me that is possible to do.
Yeah, we're here in Northern Virginia, and Northern Virginia is a pretty rich environment with regards to small banks. You've got Burke and Herbert, which is a big name in Alexandria, Access National. There's Carter Bank and Trust. There are a number of these, and literally you can pick up the phone and call these folks, and they'd be happy to talk to you because they want to talk about their business. Like any entrepreneur, the guys who run these companies want to talk about their books and so on and so forth, and showing some interest and getting to know them is a great way to accomplish a bunch of things as an investor. A, maybe get some return, and then B, become a better investor, learn about a company really from the bottoms up.